We're talking chickpeas, a must-have in every pantry, and you'll understand why I feel that way after this video. I always have 1 or 2 cans of this centuries-old cooking staple ready to make a quick lunch or dinner, or you'll find them on my stove stewing away in my Dutch oven, soaking up all that flavor so I can add them to a wide variety of dishes, and of course, make hummus. You know we're gonna be making hummus. But first, let's jump right into the quickest recipe, and this is the one that got me onto chickpeas in the first place. These curried chickpeas make for a great side for any meal, or they could even be the star of the show. I'm starting by opening 2 15-ounce cans of chickpeas and immediately washing them in a strainer to rinse off any of the canned liquid. And any vegan would tell you to save that liquid, which is called aquafaba. I haven't explored any aquafaba recipes, but definitely something for us to tackle down the road. Once the chickpeas are fully rinsed, it's best to let them sit out for as long as possible to dry out, which will help us brown the chickpeas faster in the pan. While they're drying off, I'm dicing up a large onion and 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. Onions are immediately going into a medium-high pan with about a tablespoon of oil. I'm salting the onions right away to help release the moisture and sauteing these until translucent, about 5 to 7 minutes. I'm then adding my chickpeas and turning up the heat a little bit to cook out any excess moisture and to get some good browning on these chickpeas and onions. Make sure you're seasoning it with salt during every stage. That will ensure really flavorful chickpeas. After another 5 minutes, everything is starting to look really good, so I'll lower the heat a little and add my garlic. You'll want to lower the heat to make sure you don't burn the garlic. And after introducing the garlic and sauteing for another 2 minutes, I'm looking to make sure I don't see any excess water in the pan, which is important to check before we add any of our spices. Next, I'll add 1 tablespoon of curry powder and about a teaspoon of cumin, more salt and pepper. Mix that around to get the spices to start toasting with the chickpeas and the onions. And we'll now deglaze the pan and add our brightness to this dish with the juice of 1 whole lemon. We should see some steam release and bits from the bottom of the pan should start coating the chickpeas and the onions. That is our sign that everything is coming together. You'll want to taste it here to see if you want it more lemony or maybe you want a spicy kick, which I recommend adding some cayenne pepper here. Once these are done, I'm serving them in the same brown rice bowl you saw in my Tasty Greens video with some kale. This is a nice light lunch that Ashley and I have been enjoying a lot lately, and we haven't gotten sick of it yet. There's so much flavor in these curried chickpeas, and they keep really well in the fridge for next day leftovers. So that's a great way to get chickpeas from in the can to on the plate in less than 30 minutes. My next preparation is my slow and low Dutch oven method that I basically make for everything else. And I'm sticking with canned chickpeas here, and all the recipes in this video I'm using canned chickpeas, but dried chickpeas actually work better for this Dutch oven method because essentially what we're doing is rehydrating and recooking the chickpeas in a better broth. I learned this from a Bon Appetit guide on chickpeas, and they recommend dried, but I tend to only buy canned chickpeas because it's a great thing to have, like I said, in the pantry that I can grab when I'm in a pinch. So I'm preparing 4 cans of chickpeas here, and after rinsing them like we did before, I'll be adding them to my Dutch oven and covering them with 2 quarts of water. And while that's heating up, I'll coarsely chop 1 onion and cut 1 bulb of garlic in half. I also have leftover lemon peels from making the curried chickpeas that I saved for this preparation. I'll add all of that to the pot with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil and a good amount of salt and cracked black pepper. The goal here is to elevate the chickpeas from the can because they're already cooked, but we're gonna go even further here by infusing more flavor, which is gonna go a long way with all the things we're gonna make with these chickpeas. Once the water has come to a boil, I'll lower the heat to a gentle simmer and let this go for a couple of hours. This is something that's great to do on a Sunday as meal prep so you have tasty chickpeas to use throughout the week. After the long simmer, I'll fish out all the big pieces of garlic, lemon peel, and onion. I don't mind the smaller bits of onion sticking around in here, that's just more flavor. I'll then transfer these to a large bowl and then seal with a lid. These will be great as their own side, or on salads, or for flatbread sandwiches like the one I'm making here, with some white sauce that I made, some fresh herbs, pickled veggies, all on some homemade pita, which I will for sure do a video on soon. This was a killer meal. You can even hear my reaction when I was recording the B-roll. Oh my god. This is so good. And finally, let's make some hummus. Maybe it's the middle of the week or towards the end of the week and you still have some prepared chickpeas left. You only have one option. You gotta make hummus. You basically have to. I'm making it using our handy NutriBullet blender, which makes great hummus. I'll start with about 15 ounces of our prepped chickpeas, or 1 can's worth. This is where having a kitchen scale really helps. To that, I'll add a couple tablespoons of tahini, juice from 1 whole lemon, 1 clove of garlic, about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, half a teaspoon of ground cumin, and salt and pepper. Since I'm making this in the NutriBullet, I'm also adding some ice water because that will help the mixture emulsify. Once everything is blended together, the key here is to taste the hummus to adjust to your liking. That's the best thing about hummus, you can really make it your own. I ended up adding more tahini and lemon as I love the nuttiness from the tahini and the acidity from the lemon. And there's not much I need to say to sell you on hummus. It's a top 3 dip for me. The warm pita and hummus combination is undefeated in my opinion. You really can't go wrong here. So that's how I use chickpeas, and there's actually more chickpea recipes that I've been making lately that I wanted to show in this video, but we'll have to do a follow-up on this topic because I continue to find new ways to use chickpeas in the kitchen. If there's a chickpea recipe that you love, or maybe something with aquafaba as I haven't cooked with it before, comment that below and maybe I can include that in the follow-up video. Thank you so much for watching. Just getting to the end of these videos means that you're telling YouTube to recommend my content. And if you'd like to go even further, you can like this video, you can subscribe to the channel, maybe throw a comment below. Everything helps spread the word. You'll find a new video here every week. I upload on Thursday, so I'll be back next week with more tips and recipes for all you home cooks out there. See you on the next one.